So today we're making a life bowl, which is a clay project typical of what we would use our kiln to fire. The life bowl is a really great project because anybody of any skill level can do it, and they're so sculptural and unique and organic that everybody's bowl is different. It's a project that I found in the past that people really enjoy making and take great pride in what they're able to create. We call it a life bowl because there's so many metaphors for life that can be drawn as people make these. Clay itself is one of the most primitive crafts. It goes back into ancient times, and so to work with clay, it's a real connection between the person and the original elements of earth, air, fire, and water. In the making of the bowl, which Marcia's going to soon start to throw hers on the table, it's often common that little chunks will go flying off, and so we talk about that when it happens, about whether that's a little chunk of life that's ready to be discarded or something we need to add back in and work on in terms of the piece. So yours looks like you've got lots now of clay. Yeah. Marcia's next step is to pick up that ball of clay bits she has and to slam it onto the table, which will help them all stick together. Okay. There we go, and life has just exploded.
Let's pick up these.
So again, some of those pieces, in therapy terms, might be things that we're ready to let go of and release from our life. And some we want to add back in because they're important to what we're trying to create. Oops. There we go, now it's holding together. Sometimes life takes a few tries. You throw a little bit of an angle so your clay will start to spread. And see how it's starting to elongate and change?
Can I flip it over?
No, keep your lumpy side up.
Oops. It's my throwing abilities.
Well, as the clay spreads, it's going to get thinner on the outside edges and it's going to start to crack and have holes. And those are some of the imperfections of the life bowl that make them so beautiful. Which again is a lesson for life, because we're all beautiful with our imperfections is what makes us unique. So as in therapy, a person has to decide how much they can work on at one time, and a person might work on so much and then decide it's time to stop. So like the life bowl, the person has to decide when it's ready to stop being shaped and be put on the mold. Yours is starting to get to that point.
This is fun. I'm getting towards the end now, I think.
Ready for your mold?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can just drape it over that bowl. You can make little feet from some of your other life bowl balls that have blown off. the next step is to let that dry till it's fully dry, and then if we had our kiln, we would fire it.
Okay.
And then the next step after firing would be to glaze the inside
Mm-hmm.
and apply iron oxide to the outside. And the iron oxide really picks up the texture of the bowl. It just makes the texture stand right out.
Okay. Does it have to dry on the mold?
It dries a little bit on the mold, and then once it's stiff enough to stand on its own, we'll take it off. Because it'll shrink and crack.
Okay.
So that is the making of a light bulb.